Imagine you're unwinding on your porch in the Lowcountry. Maybe you're in Sun City Hilton Head, enjoying a quiet evening. Yeah.
Lovely area.
Or perhaps you're at the Palmetto in Bluffton, watching the sunset.
Mm-hmm.
Or even at your place in Four Seasons, also in Bluffton, SC. It's perfect.
Right. Sound ideal.
Until, the South Carolina sun starts really beating down, or a sudden sprinkle catches you by surprise.
Happens fast down here.
It does. You glance up and think, okay, what exactly is the covering over this porch called? It feels like a simple question, but yeah.
It really does lead somewhere interesting. And that's precisely what this deep dive is all about, answering that fundamental question, what is the covering over a porch called?
Right.
But like you said, more than just a label, we're going to explore the diverse world of porch coverings, understanding not just what they are, but what they do for your outdoor living space, especially here, in the unique climate of the Bluffton area.
And to help us kind of navigate this, we're drawing on the expertise of a great local company, Sunspace Bluffton. They've got a fantastic reputation.
They really do. They work with folks all over.
Yeah, in communities like Sun City Hilton Head, the Palmetto in Bluffton, and Four Seasons in Bluffton, SC, they help homeowners understand their options for porch and patio covers. They really get it.
Absolutely. They understand not just, what is the covering over a porch called technically, but what works best for the lifestyle down here, the weather, all of it.
So the goal is, by the end of our chat today, you'll have a much clearer picture. Not just the answer to what is the covering over a porch called, but also the different styles, the materials, and the important things to think about.
Exactly. What you need to consider when you're thinking about maybe adding or upgrading a covering for your own porch.
All right, so let's get down to basics then. When someone just asks, straight up, what is the covering over a porch called? Ree, what's the simplest answer?
Well, the most general term, the one that fits almost everything, is simply porch cover.
Porch cover, okay.
Yeah, think of it like the big umbrella term. It covers any kind of overhead structure that's there to give you protection or shade on your porch. It's broad.
Like saying vehicle instead of specifying car or truck.
Precisely. Porch cover is that starting point.
Okay, so porch cover is the general term. But I guess what makes this interesting, and maybe why people ask what is the covering over a porch called, is that they sense there's probably more to it.
You're absolutely spot on, because that term porch cover opens up a whole range of possibilities. Different designs, different materials, different levels of protection.
It's more specific.
Exactly. This is where we move beyond just porch cover and start looking at the specific types of structures that answer the question, what is the covering over a porch called, in a more detailed way.
Okay, let's dive into one of those then. What about patio covers? What makes them distinct?
Right. So patio covers are typically permanent structures. They're usually attached right to your house.
Attached, okay.
And supported by posts or columns on the other side. The really key thing here is they have a solid roof.
Solid roof, so full protection.
Full protection from sun, rain, everything. This means homeowners can basically create like an outdoor room. It's a real extension of the home.
I can see that. Makes it usable pretty much all the time.
Totally. And they're designed to integrate, blend in with the look of your house, which is a big plus for aesthetics too. Very popular for that reason.
Makes a lot of sense, especially integrating with the architecture. Now, what about pergolas? They always look so airy and open.
They do have a different vibe for sure.
So if someone points at a pergola over a porch and asks, what is the covering over that porch called? But how do you explain that one?
Well, when the covering over a porch is a pergola, you'd explain it's an open lattice structure. Think beams and rafters, but with gaps between them.
Right, not so long.
Not solid. So it provides partial shade. You get that nice dappled sunlight effect underneath. It's very decorative.
And maybe good for plants.
Definitely. Some plants love that kind of filtered light. Now, it won't keep you dry in a downpour on its own, but you can often add things like retractable canopies over the top if you want more coverage sometimes. So there's flexibility.
Okay. The canopy option adds something. Now let's talk awnings. They feel like another answer to what is the covering over a porch called, but maybe simpler.
Yeah, they're often seen as a simpler, maybe more flexible option. Awnings are typically made from fabrics like a sturdy treated canvas or sometimes aluminum.
Fabric or metal.
Right, and they extend out from the wall of the house. The big advantage here is often flexibility. Many are retractable.
So you can pull them back if you want full sun.
Exactly. You control the shade. And generally speaking, they can be a more budget-friendly choice when you're first thinking about, what is the covering over a porch called and what are my options?
Budget is always a factor. Okay, shifting gears a bit. What if the porch is actually enclosed, like a sunroom or a screen room? What's the top part called then? Still just a porch cover.
That's a good question. When you enclose a porch, creating a sunroom or maybe a screen room, that overhead part becomes more integrated. It's really part of a whole room system.
So you just call it the roof?
Pretty much, yeah. A sunroom roof or a screen room roof. These are often built with insulated panels, maybe polycarbonate materials, things designed for durability and better climate control inside.
Because it's more of an indoor-outdoor space at that point.
Exactly. It's about making it comfortable year-round, not just providing overhead shade. So still a covering, but part of a bigger structure.
Got it. That distinction makes sense. Now, one more category. What about gazebos or pavilions? You see them in yards sometimes. Do they count when we're asking what is the covering over a porch called?
Well, gazebos and pavilions are interesting because they're usually freestanding. They're not attached to the house like the others we've discussed.
Right, they stand alone.
Yeah. So they aren't directly the covering over your attached porch.
Yep.
But they serve a very similar function, providing a covered outdoor living area, sometimes right near the porch.
So they extend the usable outdoor space.
Exactly. They create another covered spot in the yard. So while maybe not the literal answer to what is the covering over a porch called,
Yeah.
for the porch itself, they definitely fit into the broader idea of covered outdoor spaces.
Okay, so we've got patio covers, pergolas, awnings, screen room roofs, even gazebos as related ideas. That's quite a range.
It really is.
So for someone listening, maybe in the Lowcountry, trying to figure this out for their own home, what are the key things they need to weigh up when choosing?
Great question. Several things are really crucial. First, our local weather, right?
Definitely. Sun, rain, humidity.
All of it. How much protection do you actually need? Do you need solid year-round coverage from intense sun and heavy rain? Or is partial, maybe flexible shade enough? That's number one.
Okay, weather protection level, what else?
Second, think hard about purpose. How are you going to use that covered porch? Is it mostly for sitting quietly, dining with family, big parties, a screened-in bug-free zone?
Because a dining area might need more rain protection than just a sitting spot.
Precisely. The function really dictates the best form.
And I'm guessing looks matter too.
Oh, absolutely. Aesthetics are huge. Does it need to match your house perfectly? Blend right in? Or maybe you want it to be a standout feature, something architecturally interesting.
Good point. Integration versus feature.
Yeah. And then inevitably, there's budget.
Always comes back to budget.
It does. Costs can vary, really widely depending on the type of cover, the materials used, the size, the complexity of the installation, all that stuff.
This seems like where having a local expert, like you mentioned, Sunspace Bluffton, would be really helpful. They know the area, the climate.
Exactly. Companies like Sunspace Bluffton, who work day in, day out in places like Sun City Hilton Head, the Palmetto, Four Seasons right here in Bluffton, SC, they understand these specific Lowcountry challenges and homeowner needs.
So they can guide you through the options.
Right. They can help you really understand not just the technical answer to what is the covering over a porch called, but which specific type of cover truly fits your lifestyle, your home's design, and crucially, our coastal environment. They tailor solutions.
So wrapping things up a bit, it feels like understanding what is the covering over a porch called is really just that first step.
It is. Opens the door.
The real goal is picking the right covering to make your outdoor space better, more comfortable, more usable, maybe even add some value to your home.
Couldn't agree more. Whether it ends up being a solid patio cover for maximum protection, or maybe a flexible awning, or even that decorative pergola, knowing what is the covering over a porch called and exploring the possibilities lets you really optimize that outdoor area.
So as we finish this deep dive, hopefully you listening feel much more informed about what is the covering over a porch called. It's not just one answer, is it?
Definitely not. It's a whole category with lots of specific options, each with its own pros and cons.
So maybe start thinking about your own home, your lifestyle here in the Lowcountry. What kind of cover would genuinely make a difference for you? Solid roof? Partial shade? Retractable?
Yeah, consider what would really enhance how you live outdoors. Is it about escaping the intense heat, creating a bug-free zone, having a reliable spot for grilling even if it drizzles?
And maybe one final thought to leave you with. What possibilities could the right porch cover unlock for you? Could it become your favorite morning coffee spot, the place everyone gathers for cookouts? Or just, a more peaceful, comfortable way to sit back and enjoy the Lowcountry scenery?
Lots to think about there. Choosing the right cover can really transform how you experience your own backyard.